Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Murray and I'd like to welcome you to another episode of The Gift of Giving. For those tuning in for the first time, this program features and focuses on the non-profits, foundations and 501c3s right here in the state of Nevada. These are the individuals and organizations who are making our world a brighter and better place. Today's guests are no exception. I'd like to welcome to the program Peter Whittingham. He's the Executive Director and Board President of the Down Syndrome of Southern Nevada, and he's accompanied by Linda Esposito. She's the Board Secretary. So I'd like to welcome you both to the program. Thank you, Peter and Linda, for being here.
Thank you, Stephen. It's a pleasure to be here.
So we'd like to start, Peter, by asking when this organization started and give us a brief history about the organization, when it started and what it actually does.
So the Down Syndrome Organization of Southern Nevada started 37 years ago. And it came about because some former members, just like us, were concerned about the services that were available for the children at the time. And so they came together and pooled their resources to ensure that there were ample and sufficient services for their members. The organization has grown over the years and evolved now into an organization where our members and our service population extend and include the entire developmental disability community, including autism.
Gotcha. We've got a nice little video clip that we pinched from your website. So would you like to please turn around and let's have a look at the video here?
Okay.
What is Down syndrome? It's a question I've had in my head, constantly thinking about it. What is God trying to tell us? What is God sending us? I see it everywhere. It's amazing. It's beautiful. I know sometimes it's difficult to understand and comprehend, and we see it as something that's gone wrong. But I don't see it that way. I think it's perfect just the way it is. It's unique. It's cheerful. I know that sometimes it can be scary. I know that sometimes the diagnosis of Down syndrome, of what we don't see as normal, can be painful to the parent. But you gotta look beyond that. Look at the smile. Look at the way they dance. It brings warmth to my heart. I think it's love sent from God.
Well, I think that was a wonderful clip of Down Syndrome of Southern Nevada. Whoever came up with that narration, it's a beautiful explanation of Down syndrome, and credit to whoever came up with that video.
What you saw there was just a natural response from a father. Mm-hmm. And that was Daniel Cabellos. And he owns a small nonprofit organization, incidentally called EBA, which is named after his 3 children, Eva, Bella, Adam. Mm-hmm. And the emotions and the comments you heard from Daniel is not unlike that which you would have heard from any other parent. Mm-hmm. Certainly a blessing to us, our children. And I felt the same way when Sophia was born. I had, one of those gamut of reactions. Um, I must tell you that I cried a month almost after Sophie was born. We weren't expecting Sophia to be a child with special needs. There were no indications, there were no telegraphing from any medical source. And so it was a concern for us. But as time went on, those tears turned into smiles and laughter, and realized for me over the years now that it was a blessing from the moment. And now Sophia is, like so many of our members, wonderful, wonderful additions to our lives, and indeed for me as a parent, a blessing. And although I know that Linda does not have a child with Down syndrome, but I'm sure she can relate as well.
I can.
Yeah. I think that clipping was nice, and you've elaborated on it. It finishes saying that the child is a gift of love from God, and you kind of expounded upon that and supported that claim, and I think it's a beautiful tribute and perspective. Now, would I be correct then with that, you having a daughter with Child's syndrome, Sophie, was that the catalyst for you joining the organization?
So Sophie turns 25 in November. In fact, she was born a few hours before my birthday, and a few hours after my birthday on the 29th. And yes, it was after Sophie was born 25 years ago. The first month we discover a group, just as the Down syndrome group started. We found a support group in Los Angeles, in the eastern suburban area of Los Angeles. We lived in West Covina, and we found this group of mothers and supporters, and we joined that group. At the time it was called Up for Down. It is now evolved into a big organization supporting Down syndrome community in Los Angeles, the Inland Empire Down syndrome organization it is. And we became involved, my wife and I got involved, and Sophia grew up in that organization. And it has been, it was a wonderful introduction to the community. And I can tell you that over the years, it has been just a wonderful joy to be a part of that organization, and now evolve into me becoming a member of, not just a member, but certainly proud to say that I'm the chair of a wonderful organization that gives back,
Yes.
as that organization did for me and my family, to the Down syndrome community here in Southern Nevada.
Nice. And Linda, now you joined I'd like to find out the catalyst for making you join, but I'd like to mention, it seems that you only joined the organization at the beginning of this year, and at the end of April, they already made you the executive board secretary. So that's quite a
Yes.
quantum leap in 4 months, and a testament to your contributions to the organization. So what was the actual catalyst that made you join?
I'm retired
Mm-hmm.
from many years in the healthcare management industry, and a widow. And I was looking for something to give me purpose, to give me something to do, keep me busy, but at the same time, I wanted to give back to the community. And so I was thankfully introduced to Peter by another board member. And after speaking with him, I recognized and was astounded by his passion for this. And I said to myself, this is a person and an organization that I want to be part of. This is it. I've found my home. I have found my purpose. And I had some experience with nonprofits, plus my business background. And I put that together, and I I just found the most wonderful opportunity to insert myself into every aspect of the organization. And I think that was the catalyst from I want to do this to now I'm board secretary.
And I will say that you have been such a wonderful, absolute wonderful addition to the team, not just from an organizational standpoint, but also from a membership standpoint. The members love you. They
I
can
love
see
them.
the genuine and the sincere way in which you outreach and embrace them. And I'm telling you, you've been a wonderful addition. And thanks for being on the team,
Thank
the
you.
leadership team.
Yes,
Very
it has
good.
been my pleasure.
Good. That's good. Well, we're going to take a little break, and when we come back, you've got lots of wonderful programs, and you've got recreational programs and impact programs, and we'd like to talk about that. When we come back, we're just going to take a brief sponsorship break, and we're going to listen to what Pacific Coast Capital has to say to us.
Introducing Pacific Coast Capital, your partner in finance. We provide financing for your business. Speed, flexibility, and creativity are the foundation of our service. We'll help you navigate through change and opportunities. Our 90-plus years of experience ensures quick turnaround on loan decisions. Ride the wave to prosperity with us. Ready for new funding? Visit our website today at pacificcoastcap.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to welcome our guests, Peter and Linda, from Down Syndrome of Southern Nevada. And I'd like to thank Pacific Coast Capital for sponsoring this program. We would not have a program without our sponsors. If you're a small business looking for a loan, Pacific Coast Capital is certainly the place to reach out to. So we'd like to talk about some of the programs you've got going here. So let's talk about the recreational ones first. You've got an art painting, you've got music therapy, you've got performing arts, you did a production of The Lion King, got all kinds of stuff. So let's talk a little bit about some of these. The art painting, how did that come about? How many people do you have involved in that program? Who would like to talk about that?
I think there's about 20 that come to the program in our offices. I believe it's every other Wednesday.
Yes.
Yes, and it's very similar to if you've ever gone to a paint party, where you have someone who gives out the paint and has the model up front, and then you sit there and you copy it. And I've had the pleasure of watching this, and they have so much fun. And when they're all done with their paintings, they take pride. All of our members take pride in what they've done. They carry them around and take them home with them.
Nice.
And I myself go around and look at them and am amazed at the talent that comes out in these paint parties.
That's incredible.
So-
It really is. It is.
And say, I just want to add a little bit to that. The art program, art painting party we call it, is one of our most popular recreational programs. And you mentioned the others as well. But the art program is really designed not just to stimulate or excite our members in terms of creativity, but hidden in that program is the intention to allow them or have them develop the ability to follow instructions
Yes.
and follow guidance. And so you have this very professional painter who comes out and start from scratch incrementally, bite-sized pieces as how to create a particular object. And what happens at the end is that the students, the members, the parents, and myself, we're all surprised at what the final product is, where they start and where they end up. And that is the idea for our members to find out to create an environment where they can learn how to follow instructions, and if they do, the result of that. And so the art program is part of that general intent.
And now what about your performing arts program? Because the art program is where they're doing things by themselves. When you're putting on things like The Lion King, you're talking about team projects and teamwork. So how does that pan out? How did that work out for you?
The performing arts program is a byproduct of our adult music therapy. And music therapy programs are designed to stimulate the cognitive interests of our members. But we want to show the skills of our members and give them an opportunity to showcase their skills on the big stage. And the performing arts program is one that has really created that environment for our members to really demonstrate beyond their perceived disability what they really can do. And so we have two major productions yearly. One is a stage production, and the other is what we call a variety show. Our first one was Wizard of Oz, which was absolutely wonderful. This last one took it over the top. It was an absolute a remarkable performance.
Absolutely.
From everybody. And in that performance, we have about 40 members who are involved at different levels, whether it is props or costume or playing the major role. And we had the event a few weeks ago at the Kitty Rodman Auditorium at the Opportunity Village, and we had over 240 people in the audience.
Oh my.
Simple cheering, and it was just an absolute wonderful. And so we're looking forward to our next performance, which will be now our variety show. And so the stage performance is usually in the summer, and the variety show is an event in the winter. And so in December now we will have another variety show, and that is going to be fantastic. Again, this is just part of a collective of programs where we give our members an opportunity to really demonstrate in some real way their abilities beyond their diagnosed disability.
And everyone is given a part to play, regardless
so
of what
nobody's
their
left out.
you're
That's
correct.
nice.
So regardless of what their ability is, they are given a part to play.
That's
And so
nice.
it's totally inclusive from members, volunteers, family. It's a wonderful experience.
Nice. Whoever came up with that, that's a wonderful program.
We know that.
Oh, Peter had to come up with it.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I didn't know that, so my compliments to you, Peter. Now, you also have organized sports and athletic activities, and I would imagine you have to have a fair amount of volunteers or staff to oversee that project.
So we don't, perhaps, maybe the best way to put it, we don't administer most of our athletic activity by ourselves. We partner with a number of collaborating agencies that serves our common service population. And certainly a Special Olympics is one. And so if our members want to, if they have a particular skill and they want to participate in a particular program, we sponsor our members. And so we have a number of our members performing or participating in Miracle League, for example. And Miracle League have football, baseball, and other sports. We also sponsor a bowling league that we take responsibility for. And it's a recreational training bowling league where we train our members so that they can compete in an effective way when they participate in Special Olympics, which is
Nice.
a little bit more formal. And so the idea is not just to create an opportunity for our members to participate in activities indoor, but also to create an environment where they can also physically interact with others and learn how to coordinate activities and learn how to be a part of a team. And so that's the intention of our sports program.
That's another great program. Is that one of your creations? Arranging the coordinations. Let's move on to the impact programs, because you have quite a few impact programs, and we'd certainly like to get some of those covered today. So the iPad loan program.
So I want to very briefly summarize the difference between the recreational programs and what we call the impact programs. For our members, it's often seen as a need for them to engage in recreational programs because it gets them out of the house and it gets them in a social environment. Mm-hmm. But we also think that there is a compelling need to develop the cognitive ability, the communication skills, and also skills that they need to fully integrate. Our three primary pillars are education, employment, and independent living. And our impact programs are designed to fill those gaps where they might have left off in the schools and address those issues as it relates to education and how they would function in an environment, an employment environment, and also how they would by themselves. And so we have reading clinics. We have different programs that we have loaded on computers and give those to our members. We have our computer lab, and our members are left out of the digital space. And when they are asked to perform at home or to study at home on computer, they don't know how. So we provide an environment where they learn the basics of computer skills, key functions, and we also teach Word, Microsoft Word, and PowerPoint presentation. And it is remarkable, Stephen, to see how some of our members, not knowing anything about a computer, and yet at graduation, present a PowerPoint presentation. It's remarkable.
Hold that thought. That is remarkable. I don't even know how to do a PowerPoint presentation, and I was in the computer business for 40 odd years. We're going to take another sponsorship break. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Debt ceiling, presidential elections, government shutdown, conflicts in Europe, conflicts in the Middle East, global pandemics, interest rates, inflation concerns. Markets go up and down for reasons that nobody can control. Don't let the volatility of the stock market determine the quality of your retirement. Having the right financial strategy in place can make all the difference. I'm Joshua Dowden. Here at Lucia Capital Group, our bucket strategy has been helping people for decades work towards accomplishing their goals through careful risk management, and we can help you too. Our bucket strategy approach matches your assets to your liabilities in short, medium, and long-term time frames to help reduce volatility and potentially maximize your performance. You've worked hard to get to where you are now. Your financial plan should work hard for you in retirement. Call me today for a free consultation, 702-508-6421. That's 702-508-6421.
Welcome back, everyone, and I'd like to welcome back our guest today from Down Syndrome of Southern Nevada, Peter and Linda. Thank you both for joining us again. And we were talking about the impact programs, and before we broke to the sponsor for the sponsorship break, and you have a self-advocacy and public speaking program that is very important to the organization. So could you expand a little bit on that, please, for us?
Absolutely, Stephen. There's nothing more important for members than the ability to advocate for themselves in the absence of and out of the presence of their parents and caregivers. Mm-hmm. And that's what this program is intended to accomplish, to give them the confidence so that they can represent themselves. And so it's a 12-week program. It's a public speaking program that is grounded in our definition of inclusion. And it's simple as this, that the students are called upon to write a brief essay, identify any 1, 2, or 3 of our pillars of inclusion, write an essay about those pillars, and then convert the essay into a speech. And in the process, what we talk about is not just how to present your verbal presentation, but also we add some key points in terms of the intangibles and some of the value systems. What does it mean to be included? What does it mean to be responsible? What does integrity means? And how do those attributes of character building blocks applies to you as an employee in the workplace? And so at the end of the day, at the end of the class, the students will learn not just about presenting a speech, but they will also learn how to really advocate for themselves in some of the areas that are outside of the practical realm. It's not just about how the vocational skills that they have, but what if they are in the workplace and are mistreated? What if they're in the workplace and see something that they don't agree with? What if they're in the workplace and see something that they believe is unethical? How do they identify those things? And how do they develop the courage to speak to a supervisor or a senior member or a team member about their observation? Or do they simply stay in the corner and say that's not my business, because guess what, I'm disabled and so nobody cares? And so this is a wonderful program, I believe, that address what I call the intangibles of life for our members. Mm-hmm. And so it's not just a case where we are focused on the practical or vocational skills, but on their ability to really represent themselves in all aspects. We call it developing the whole person. And this is one of those programs where I think we are very close to accomplishing that.
I will agree with that. I see exactly what he's talking about. When I'm in events or in groups with the members, I can see some of the things such as integrity and knowing when something might be inappropriate and things like that. So there are some tangible proof there.
Well, you're talking about this, and how do they respond or react if they see something not quite right? What can the community do to help out in this regard if they're dealing with Down syndrome individuals? What can the community do to help?
Well, I think the community can be, to use our word we use a lot because it means so much, is inclusive. Mm-hmm. It's I see you, do you see me? And we even have our t-shirts that say that. And I think most of the members that I've engaged with all know that saying. Mm-hmm. I see you, do you see me? And that's it, really. That's what the community needs to do, is understand that our members may be different, but they have skills and they are people. And given a chance, they can show you what they can do.
Given a chance, as my daughter said, you will see that I'm just another version of yourself. And to expand on some of the comments that Linda made, what can you do as a member of the community to show our members that they do feel included? What you can do is engage them, not just to see them, but to engage them, bring them into existence. And that, by that I mean, include them in your conversation. And when you start to do that, you will see that they too have something to say. Mm-hmm. The unfortunate thing is that too often our members are marginalized just because you don't know them, because you haven't had a chance to see and hear them. And you may think that because of their diagnosed disability, they may not have something to say. But I implore your audience, Stephen, and anybody watching, just to make it now a habit. I say to the employers, give our members a chance. And you will see that they will be an asset to your business. Engage us, engage our members in a conversation, and you will walk away surprised pleasantly that their thought process is so insightful and they have so much to say. And I think if we do that as a society, our members will start to now really feel that they are a part of this community.
Good answer. Good answer. Thank you for that. I'm sure you've educated a lot of us today on dealing with Down syndrome individuals and your hopes and your dreams for them all. And let's hope they will become fulfilled. Let's talk a little bit about fundraisers. I know you have a couple coming up, a Festival of Trees and Lights.
Yes.
Coming up.
and
That's
I
an
play a-
annual event.
I play a significant role. I'm not just the board secretary. I fill in where there's a need.
Mm-hmm.
And my role in the Festival of Trees and Lights is coordinating all of the necessary activities that have to take place up to and during the event. The planning, we have planning committees, we have, which have everything from sponsorships to tree decoration. So my role is to make sure that all of those pieces fit together in a timely fashion.
And that's probably a huge fundraiser, I would imagine.
In
It
fact,
is.
if I may,
You may.
if you imagine a wheel with spokes, Linda is the hub.
There you go.
And so everything has to go through and originate from her. We are, as a nonprofit organization, we are funded mostly through funds raised through our two signature fundraising events, namely our Buddy Walk, which is coming up in October 20th in Town Square, the Las Vegas Buddy Walk in Town Square on October the 20th. Mark your calendar for that. And our Festival of Trees and Lights, which was in fact one of the first fundraising events of the organization, and it's now in its 36th year. And it's was one of the most exciting events in Las Vegas in the winter, a gala event. And so it is an event that we invite people to come out. And this year we are celebrating one of our founding members, Linda Smith, who is known throughout not just this state, but throughout the country as one of the icon in disability advocate. And she has done an enormous job in bringing our community the kind of respect and support that we need. She played a significant role in building Opportunity Village, and you might know about Opportunity Village. And so we are going to honor her. A lot of people know what she does for the public, but don't know that she was one of her founding members. And we are going to honor her this year at our gala event. And we're looking forward to this being one of the most exciting and rewarding events, fundraising event for the organization.
Well, I think they both sound wonderful events, your Buddy Walks and your Festival of Trees and Lights. I'm sure more information can be found on your website. So at this juncture, this is the perfect time to give out your website information so people can go and learn more.
Yes, so for more information, please go online at dsosn.org. And you can explore, browse through all of our programs and events there, but go to that website and click on Buddy Walk 2024 and FOTL 2024. FOTL is for the Festival of Trees and Lights. And I really do look forward to this community, your audience, turning out to support us at our Body Walk, a wonderful event in Town Square, and certainly at our Festival of Trees and Lights as well.
If I may also add quickly, on that website, there is a tab at the top that says Get Involved. I invite everyone to click on that, and it will give you ways to volunteer on our various committees. We could use skills from almost every walk of life. And, this is how I got to know everything about the organization and how I get so much pleasure out of working with them. And find out what you might like. Fill out the form, send it in, and we can certainly have a conversation.
And just one last addition to that. As you mentioned, volunteer. It's important for your audience to know that we, including myself, in both capacity as chair and executive director, as a volunteer. And we welcome, it's a volunteer organization led and a volunteer run, staff support and staff managed organization. But most of the wonderful work that is being done for our membership comes from our volunteers. And so I invite all your members, your audience, members from your audience, to join us, and you will see what gets us so excited, and what motivates us, and what encourages us, and what builds our passion.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
The result of our work, when we see the smiles on the faces of our members, you too can be a part of this, and you will see how much a pleasure it is just to volunteer for an organization like this one. Thank you much.
To all your viewers out there, if you know of anybody who could benefit from DSOSN, Down Syndrome of Southern Nevada, please share this interview with them. And if you know of anybody who would like to volunteer, become part of their team, again, please share this interview. I'd like to thank our guest today for enlightening us about Down Syndrome of Southern Nevada. I'd also like to thank our show's producer, John Stiles, for allowing me to host this program. He's also the owner of the station, WWDBTV. I specifically like to thank our sponsors that make this show happen: Joshua Dowden from Lucia Capital Group, Pacific Coast Capital, and RJ Champion, Ralph Champion, whose message you'll hear right at the end of this program. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to Stephen at thegiftofgiving.vegas. And finally, I'd like to thank you, the viewer, for tuning in today. I hope you found it interesting and informative, and that you'll join us again next week. In the meantime, please stay safe, be kind to one another, and thank you for joining us. Goodbye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. R.J. Champion is proud to sponsor WWDB-TV's series, The Gift of Giving, and wishes the program much success. Congratulations and gratitude to the featured guests and the organizations they represent. Our community is well served by your tireless efforts to make Nevada a better state for all its residents.